Today we are reading a story called The Christmas Tree by Hans Christian Andersen. Deep in the forest grew a little fir tree which was pretty but unhappy. It wanted so much to be big. "Oh, I wish I was tall, the tallest tree in the forest. Then I'd spread out my branches and stretch my top to see for miles over everything else." The little tree was so busy wanting to be big, it didn't notice warm sunshine, soft breezes, rosy clouds, or the happy children playing nearby. Seasons passed and the tree grew, yet still it was not satisfied. In the autumn, woodcutters would come and chop down several of the tallest trees and take them away. The fir tree asked a stork one spring if it knew where the tall trees were taken. "I think I know. When I flew from Egypt, I saw no ships with high masts that smelt like the forest. Those must have been the tall trees." "Oh, I'd love to be a mast on a ship," said the fir tree. The wise stork advised the fir tree to enjoy being young, but the tree didn't listen. In the weeks before Christmas, the woodcutters came and cut down many young trees, some smaller than the fir tree. These trees were laid on wagons and taken away. "Where are they going?" asked the fir tree. We know," sang the sparrows. "We see them through the windows of houses in town. They are inside, decorated with all sorts of pretty things, ribbons, golden apples, toys, and candles." "Oh, will anything so exciting happen to me?" wondered the fir tree. "Enjoy your own life in the fresh air," advised the sparrows. But the fir tree didn't listen. Then, just before Christmas, the fir tree was cut down. It said goodbye to the forest, and a long journey followed, but finally it was brought to a large house. Two servants carried it inside to a beautiful room with pictures on the walls, silk sofas, and tables covered in books. The fir tree was placed in a large tub full of sand. It trembled. "What will happen to me now?" Then the servants decorated the tree. On one branch they hung little bags cut out of colored paper and filled with sweets. On other branches they hung golden apples and walnuts. Above and all around they placed red, blue, and white candles. Tiny dolls were hidden among the green needles, and a glittering star was fastened at the very top of the tree. The candles were lit. "Oh, I look beautiful!" The tree felt thrilled and excited. The door opened, and a group of children stood for a moment gazing at the splendid Christmas tree before rushing forward to dance around it, laughing and shouting. "Can we take the presents?" the children asked. Can we? One of the servants blew the candles out and nodded, and the children threw themselves at the Christmas tree so its branches nearly broke. They grabbed the bags of sweets, the apples and walnuts, and the tiny dolls. "Oh my, what will happen to me now?" worried the tree. A story, the children cried. A man came and sat by the Christmas tree, and the children quietened down. "I'll give you and the tree a tale," said the man. And he told them about Humpty Dumpty, who fell down the stairs but got up again and, in the end, married a princess. The fir tree listened happily and looked forward to the same things happening again the next evening. In the morning, the servants and the housemaid came in to tidy up. "I hope they light my candles again," thought the tree. But instead, it was dragged out of the room, taken upstairs to the attic, and thrown in a dark corner. "What will I do here?" thought the fir tree. "It's not very light." How pleasant it was out in the forest with sun and the breeze. Two little mice sniffed the tree and crept between its branches. "Squeak, squeak! Where have you come from, old tree?" they asked. The fir tree was glad to have companions to talk to. "I'm not old," it said. "There are lots of trees older and taller than me in the forest." "Is there cheese in the forest?" asked the curious mice. "I haven't seen any," said the fir tree, "but there are singing birds and rosy clouds, and sometimes children come and play and laugh." "What wonderful things you have seen," squeaked the mice. "You must have been so happy." "Happy!" exclaimed the fir tree, and it considered this for a while. "Yes, those were happy days after all." "That was a good story," said the mice. I know another good story. It's about Humpty Dumpty. I was told it on the happiest night of my life." The tree told them the story of Humpty Dumpty falling down the stairs and marrying a princess. It remembered every word, and the mice were delighted. More mice came to listen. "What else have you seen?" they asked. "Can you tell us about the beautiful places in the world? Have you been in the storeroom where cheeses lie on the shelves and hams hung from the ceiling?" "I know nothing of that," said the tree, "but I do know what is beautiful." It went on to tell about Christmas evening, about being decorated all over with colored paper bags and apples and walnuts and toys, about the candles, about the children and the dancing. One day, servants came to clear out the attic. They dragged the tree downstairs to the garden and left it on the ground. "Oh," thought the tree, "it must be springtime." There was sunshine, fresh air, and flowers in bloom. Two children playing nearby ran over to the tree. "Look," shouted one, "the gold star is still in the withered old tree." They pulled the star out of the dry brown branches. "The stork and the sparrows were right," thought the tree. "Those days in the forest, when I was young and fresh and small, were full of sun and breezes. I should have enjoyed them then." All stories must come to an end. A boy came, chopped the old brown fir tree into pieces, and made them into a fire. The children warmed their hands at it. One of them still held the golden star. The fire burned brightly, just like the candles had done when the fir tree had been a Christmas tree on the happiest. The fire burned brightly, just like the candles had done when the fir tree had been a Christmas tree on the happiest night of its life.